Massachusetts calls on National Guard to cope with migrants. Here's a clip.
Massachusetts buckling under pressure, overwhelmed with the number of migrants arriving in the state. The governor activating the National Guard as the state's scrambling now to house and aid the latest wave of asylum seekers.
The situation
Every state's dealing
got
with
some
this
national attention last year when
Let's
Florida
go, Brandon.
governor and now candidate for president Ron DeSantis flew a group of migrants to the upscale Martha's Vineyard neighborhood. They spent roughly 24 hours there before then relocating. With us now, Ryan Fatman is a Massachusetts state senator. Peter Durant is a Massachusetts state representative. Gentlemen, welcome. And thanks so much for coming out and joining us today. State Senator Fatman, could you talk to us about what's going on in Massachusetts? Again, not a typical border state, but clearly there's a crisis and the governor's forced to respond.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us on and highlighting this issue. It's impacting me very personally because it's right in my hometown, and it highlights a failure of policy both at the national and the state level. When, as you referenced, Governor DeSantis sent migrants to Martha's Vineyard, our governor, Governor Healy, was very critical of that. And yet on August 27th, she sent overnight 56 individuals, migrants, to my hometown in Sutton, and didn't tell anybody. They showed up. There was no resources. There was no management team from state government to help facilitate their, welcoming into the community. And we had 7-month-olds, 21 children. Even worse than this, there was no due diligence done at the local hotel, which the local police department has designated a dangerous zone. There was 2 level 3 sex offenders living there at one point, and the own executive office of public safety in the Healy administration sent 2 letters to this hotel saying that their 911 system was out of date and was endangering their employees, their guests, and the general public. So if we're going to institute some humane policies when it comes to trying to help people, let's at least put them somewhere safe. But this is a failure of state and national policy, and we got to do a lot better.
We want to show this, too, in terms of what the state senator was speaking about. State Rep Durant, if I could, protesters were really out in force over the weekend outside the Yarmouth Resort Hotel there, where the state is hoping to set aside 100 units specifically for migrant families. This hotel is one of more than 1,500 temporary hotels and new shelters set up across the state since last year, at least what's been reported here. Can you talk about that, State Rep, and again, how residents of your state feel about this and being able to handle the migrant crisis in the state of Massachusetts?
Sure, and thanks for having me on. I think Senator Fatman hits the nail on the head. Is communities are being impacted here with very little to no warning that these migrants are coming in, that they're being housed, and that they're being provided services. We're seeing them in hotels across the state. We're seeing other state facilities being converted for housing. And in fact, we're actually seeing additional outreach from the administration looking to expand housing in multifamily units throughout the state. So a lot of this is coming down with no warning whatsoever.
This is wild.
No guidance from the
Everywhere is overflowing.
And from a legislative standpoint, no idea of what this is costing us. I think if we look at the number of families that have come in, just in the past couple of months, those families have nearly doubled. About 6 weeks ago or 2 months ago, we were looking at about 3,000 families, and today we're looking at, in the neighborhood, about 5,600, with more arriving every day.
That's a storyline we've been hearing about some of these sanctuary cities or blue states with sort of an open door policy to those seeking asylum. We've seen it in New York. New York Mayor Eric Adams, he's really been pulling no punches when it comes to calling on the federal government to step in. Here's Mayor Adams.
Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City.
When you think of it, Senator Fatman, that is a devastating prediction that we've just heard from the mayor there. Do you see something similar in your home state?
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at New York City, they're a right to shelter city. If you look at Massachusetts, we're a right to shelter state. In fact, we're the only one in the entire nation. A law that was passed in 1983 and modified in 1991 that took out a residency requirement saying that if you were coming and you had a family situation with children, you had the right to shelter as long as you were willing to be here legally and permanently. And changed in 1991. Back in May, we took up the state budget and I put an amendment forward to try to close the loophole in that language because I saw this problem coming. I saw it in New York, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize when you're the only state in the nation that has a law in the books that says we're a right to shelter state, that they're coming here. And we need, as Peter mentioned, to get the administration to be more communicative and more competent when it comes to the management. I know that they've decided to bring up the National Guard. Well, when they communicated that to me, I said, well, how many is my hometown going to get? How many guardsmen or women? And they said one. There's now 120 migrants that are living in this dangerous facility of a hotel. It's unacceptable. It's hypocrisy at its finest. And it's a failure in policy, and we've got to have change.
Look, not to mention a lot of these urban areas already are dealing with a homeless crisis. Americans that are homeless here. Now you're adding this to this crisis to the pile there. We appreciate the time of State Senator Ryan Fadman, State Representative Peter Durant there. Thank you so much.
Gentlemen, appreciate it.
Crazy. This is crazy. It's just more and more of the same. The whole country is overflowing. And then the federal judge, because Biden is suing, is blocking Texas from having the border buoys in the Rio Grande. It's like, what are you guys doing? You're not helping at all. They're not helping cities. It's like they want to lose in 2024. It's the weirdest thing to me, because it's like, why would they be doing this when the left even is going away from this? They hate it. People in inner cities, I talk about it all the time. People in inner cities, they're turning on it, like on this policy like crazy. And look at Eric Adams, the mayor of New York. He's even turning on it. So it's just like, this is a failing policy and everyone knows it. And the Biden administration isn't giving funding to any of these cities, and he's not trying to defend the border. You think he would shore up the border, help Texas with the buoys, help Arizona with the cargo train walls. Nope. No. They don't do that at all. They're like, you got to remove them. Why? I don't know. It's like they want conflict in this completely, but they're just going to lose in 2024. Maybe they think it's going to make the left go crazy if Trump wins, so they're just trying to make him win. So, it creates a huge conflict in the country, but I don't think that'll work. I think, Trump will probably just, shore everything up, but that might be their strategy because, again, it doesn't make sense. You would think they would just go and close off the border because even the left is in these inner cities are turning on them. Maybe they're wanting like the rich kids, like college kids that are indoctrinated in these colleges. Maybe they're like, hey, we're pandering to them, but it's like there's only so many of them though. So, and they might just be cocky, really. They might just be like, inner cities, they're gonna vote left. We don't have to worry about that. But I don't know. I think it'll backfire because this stuff is just getting out of control everywhere in the country, and everyone's starting to realize it. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe for daily news updates, smash that like button, share this video with your friends, and share your thoughts on the story in the comments below. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.